Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmas Mordechai, sponsored by Fagie and Jack Wahrman for the Zichrot of my Shver, Nishmas Aaron Dovid Ben Yisroel Halevi Blobstein on his 4th Yartziet. By Mark Struel, Nishmas Peretz by Mנחem Mendel Zichrot on his father's 3rd Yartziet. A modest, humble, and unassuming person who taught me many valuable life lessons. Where's Yosef? Yosef? I don't know how you let this slip in here. A modest, humble. I don't know if we could do that in the future. Rabbi Sai. This Motzei Shabbos, there's a get-together in Flatbush at 1301 East 27th Street. If you are the shy type, be misgaber, go there. Try to be there. It's geshmak. It's a mishpacha. You can't be shy with family. There'll be refreshments in the beginning, and the shir begins. It starts at 11:30 p.m. Shir begins at 12:15 a.m. You slept enough on Shabbos. You could do it. Remember to bring your Gemara. This is the mishpacha in Lakewood. Right over here. See if I remember all the names. Aaron Hirsch, Yoli Elkan, Dovi Fink, Mark Ashkenazi, Shalom Eggert, the bus driver, the shuttle driver, Shuk, Ringel, right? Aaron Ringel. And here they are once again in the what? No. Here, watch. Aaron Ringel, Shuk, Warren Carlos in the cookie corner. They are paying me good. They're on sponsorship this month. Though we think, I love Shalom Rebelli. I'm not the one to email in because it's a little strange to email myself, to email you. Who wrote this? Yosef. Very good. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about Zalman Tzvi, my son, and his oldest friend, and one of the newest youth members of the MDY, Laser Rubin. Both are 11 years old. Laser, Zalman Tzvi, come here, come to the front, please. Tonight they were Messiahim Mishnayis Psochim. They stayed up all night Shmooze so they could finish it. The last 18 months have been hard for us all. I've seen these two boys keep learning. This is the 3rd scene they made together. I asked them, what's next? They said, now it's all about the daf. My wife and I are so proud of them. Oh, Laser, Shalom Aleichem, Laser. Where's Zalman Tzvi? This kid, I don't know if I want to get into it now, but this kid gave me a lot of chizik this Motzei Shabbos. I asked him, do you like school? I don't know if he's going to answer the answer he told me. Do you remember what you told me? So I'll ask you now, do you like school? He said, if I had a Rebbe like you, I'd like it. If my Rebbe was like you, I would like it. Do you remember that? Did you say it? Does he go to ladies' school? What did you say? Oh, maybe Yosef said it. Okay, fine. You didn't say it. That's what you think? What do you think? What? Nobody heard. Only me. What? I should say it for you? No, you can't hear.
If everyone was a Rebbe like Ravelli, so I would like school.
Louder. They didn't hear. Louder. Say it again.
If the Rebbe was a Rebbe like Ravelli, I would like school.
Oh. Go ahead.
If the rabbis were rabbis like Ravelli, you would like school.
No, he really did give me chizuk. He said it to me and something changed in me. I'm not going to say what, but something changed. To be announced. All right. Zokti Gemara. The Heilige email. My wife and I are so proud of them both. I want to thank you and the whole MDY family for putting the Geshmak back into the Gemara for me. And that has in turn influenced my whole family and now my kids' friends as well. Yosef Biliak. See attached pictures from the Sivon. Here's Zalman Tzvi. He's not here now, but he comes a lot in the morning. And this guy sits there and listens to every word. It's gewaldic. Okay, beautiful. What time is it? I have no idea. 21. From Ezra Cohen. In Panama, we have a group chat of over 200 Balibatim who do the daf daily. You hear this? In Panama, there's 200 people that do the daf. Recently, I came across your 8-minute daf on YouTube and was astonished at the simplicity and great coverage of the daf in such a short time. It takes a real brain to do such good performance. I started to share your pictures from MDY, myself, the Yoma, and yesterday got a call from a rabbi in Brazil asking me to share it with him. First, let me ask you if I can use in the series these pictures. Yes, of course. Secondly, would like to have a closer relationship, as now that I'm watching your daily shir, certainly want to belong to the MDY family. Keep up the good and excellent work. Ezra Cohen from Panama. And this one is from Reb Dovid. This is Dovid Kobeni, writing from São Paulo, Brazil. I help manage dafyomi.com.br, Brazil, that gives Daf Yomi Shur in Portuguese. I came across the 8-minute daf and see some great visual aid content under the sheet section. I think that would greatly help our students as well, and want to ask your authorization to publish some of the sheets into our website. You got to get them to do the daf. Forget the sheets, the whole shir in English. In English. Also, if you have additional material that has not been published yet, we call it Loshon. Toda rabba, haslacha ubracha, chazaku baruch for the great work. David, Shkoyach. All right. We have a very long daf today, so try go maybe on a quicker pace. Today is Daf Nun Gimel, and we're holding all the way in the top line. Tana Rabbana. V'nosan hasak toiris alo eish lefnei Hashem. Shelo yitaken mibachutz v'yachnis. You're supposed to do the toiris on the coals lefnei Hashem inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim, not outside. Don't come in all prepared. Lahoitzi milim shel tzdukim. The tzdukim felt differently. Shoimrim yitaken mibachutz v'yachnis. Let him pour on the Ketores, on the Gechalim, outside Kodesh HaKadoshim, and then come in. My Darush, where they come up with this? Ki ba'anon eira ala kaporos. Hello. You know what's going on? Ki ba'anon eira ala kaporos. When you come into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, there should be a cloud already. Milam yishitakim v'achutz v'yachnes. Amar lahem chachamim v'alo yikfarnema v'nosas aktoris ala ish lefnei Hashem. It says mufurish in the pasuk opposite. So what do we do this pasuk? That special plant called mala'ashan. And what does mala'ashan do? It creates this perfect, straight column. Thank you. Column of smoke. Is it part of the Ketores? Is it one of the Samamonim? No. But it's part of the Ketores. Shenemar v'chiso anan Ketores es hakaporos. Now, but if you missed it, you didn't put that plant in. Chayav misa. Chayav misa, because you don't have the full Ketores. It says v'chiso anan haktores. It has to contain everything, and it doesn't contain this. So you chayav misa. Ask the Gemara. The kamayil bi'arei, you're going into the Kodesh HaKadoshim with nothing in your hand. If you have 7 Samamonim, welcome back. If you have 7 Samamonim, talking about welcome back, we want to go to the Kaisel. We want to do our class trip next Friday, not this coming Friday, but Rosh Chodesh Friday. Hopefully, it works for most of us, and we'll try to push it. No, there's problems on Rosh Chodesh. Oh, the reform, but we'll do it earlier or whatever. Okay. Why do you need this special pasuk that he missed one of the ingredients? The problem is that he just walked into the Kodesh HaKadoshim empty-handed. Yes, he has some Ketores, but some is nothing. You have to have all of the Ketores. Rabbi Isai, you know what the Shagasai asks over here? Beautiful kasha. Think about another Isser. Another Isser. What else could be the Isser right now? Bringing this Ketores on Yom Kippur. No? Anybody? Oh, who said that? I heard somebody. Dr. Avi Factor, very good. He's making a fire on Shabbos, on Yom Kippur. He's cooking on Yom Kippur for no reason. You can't cook. You can't put something on a flame that's not Ketores. You can't put 3 out of the 9 ingredients on. That's Havara. Okay. That's a kasha. But anyway, Omar Rav Sheshes. He didn't realize, he didn't know the halacha, But when he put the Ketores on the Gechalim, that he knew what he was doing, and he missed one of the ingredients that he's chayav for. It's possible that he knew what he was doing. He knew that going in, you only go in a certain way with the right ingredients. But he brought two ktaris in. One was the right one. One had the right amount of ingredients. Even Mela, when he walked into the Kodesh Kodashim, he walked in with permission because he had what he needed. It wasn't bia reikanis, it wasn't empty-handed. Because he brought one that was good. But by the fact that he was makter, the second ktaris, which wasn't the right amount of ingredients, he's chayav. They call makter ktaris chasera. Omamar. How do you know that he put in this plant called mala oshon? What you need, a pasuk we already said before. V'chisa nanak ktaris. What do you need v'chisa? Sorry. Ki ba'anan eira like a pyrus. Ki ba'anan eira, it says already. So why do I need v'chisa? So the Gemara goes into like 5 different reasons why you need the word v'chisa. Omer Rav Yosef, Achi Kamar, Ein li elo alei. So you have 2 parts of this malach taurus, like every plant. You have the branch and you have the leaf. What is the most important part of the malach oshan? So according to Rav Yosef, it's the leaf. So how do I know that I can bring the branch in? The word v'chisa. Ein li elo alei, the leaf. Malach oshan. That's the malach oshan. Iker malach oshan minayin. Thanks. Gershon, is there any way like to lower the volume when you do that? Or that's Iker mala osha minayin. So how do you know that the branch also works to make a nice straight column? It's not true. The main part is the branch. The leaf is stam secondary. Okay, so he argues. So it'll be the reverse. I need the v'chisa for the leaf. You put in the branch. You go up like a column of smoke. We have a nice picture. Nice. This is actually the picture on the book. From all hundreds of pictures, I don't know, 700 pictures. This is the one they chose. Nice straight column of smoke. When it hits the ceiling and can't go any further, then it spreads out. This is like an atom bomb. Nice mushroom on the top. Then when it gets to the walls, it will come down the wall. But it doesn't just fill up the entire room like a typical cloud of smoke. And I could do tshuva because I heard myself saying, I think on the 8-minute daf or something, or even in the shir somewhere, we were talking about that the kairos never saw kimchas hair. And I said the walls or something. Kaira is the beams, yeah? Kaira. Then it goes down the walls, and then the whole room is full of smoke. I argue with you. The branch is the main thing that creates this column of smoke. How do I know that the leaf is well? Another pshat. What do I do with the chisa? This pasuk is talking about in the midbar. Shiloi, how do you know Shiloi in the Bate Mikdash? The Gemara goes away from this real quickly. Hi, that's not true. You don't need the word v'chisa. They're not from another pasuk. I try to look around. I saw a little bit of. I know. Hillel Kamyansky, why are you so makbid on saying every word of Ketairis? What happens if you don't say it, says Hillel? You die. Every day of the year or only on Yom Kippur?
Every day of the year.
Who said every day? You.
It says it in the Ketairis. If you're missing one of them,
So it seems like Rashi argues, there's a Likutei Rashi says only on Yom Kippur. So I wanted to look into it a little bit more. I didn't find anybody today in the morning that discusses this. Really, there's just that one Rashi it brings it in Likutei Rashi. Look if you have it in the back. If it applies only, I'm saying just calm down. It could be according to a lot of shittas, or at least one shita. It doesn't apply to every day of the year. Only on Yom Kippur. Okay, it's Peseder. A little calmer now. According to that. You can tell Rebbeinu Shalom, I go like Rashi. Shayim says Shana Minayin, Tamaloyim v'chisa. Ravashi Omar Chad leMitzvah v'Chad la'akev. And Ravashi says, what do I do with the chisa? One tells me I'm obligated to do it, it's a mitzvah. La'akev means if I don't do it, I don't put in the malash and go home. You didn't do anything, zero. Typically in the Torah gives you a warning, and then Torah gives you a punishment. So, if we look over here, there's a lot of words, so unfortunately it's very small. I'll go over it with you real quickly. That's a hazara. Hazara that you shouldn't come into the kodesh wreck, empty-handed. Then it says, all right, v'lo yamos. That's the punishment of coming in empty-handed. Ki ba'ananei ra, a cloud, and that we said. A cloud, what's that? Mala'ashan. So that's a hazara that you should use mala'ashan. Where's the oynish for mala'ashan? All the way over here in Pasuk Yud Gimel. It says v'lo yamos twice. So those are two oinshim for two different things. Rashi points it out. One is for not putting in mala'ashan, and one is coming into the Kodesh Kodashim empty-handed with nothing for no reason. You come into Kodesh Kodashim dead. All right. So now that we know these psukim over here, when were these psukim said? This is Perek Tezayin in Vayikra. Okay. So we have the Oynash, we have a Hazara, a warning, and then a punishment, death penalty. Says the Gemara, now, this is the whole parsha of Nadav Avihu, they died, but way before in Perek Tes. This is Perek Tes Zayin. Now, when did this happen? Did this happen before or after? So I would think this happened before. No, it happened after. No, maybe they both happened after. In other words, the Gemara is breaking this up. There's two. There's a Hazar and a Oynash. I don't think both happened after. No, they didn't happen after they died. So both happened before? No, they both didn't happen before. One and one. One happened before, one happened after. But Lamaisa, this whole parsha seems like way after they died. So the Gemara, no. This might have happened. Perek Tezayin, part of it happened before Perek Tes. This tells us two things. There's a Hazara. I'm warning you, don't go into the Kodesh HaKodashim. And if you do, you die. No. The whole Torah is not like that. What do you mean? Yeah. Different things. The Torah tells us. The Torah tells us about Nadav Avihu dying. So what? It was in Har Sinai. So no. It was certain times. Daber el Aaron achicha. You tell Aaron your brother. This is not the Har Sinai. Okay. So let's just see in a second. You'll chap. Okay, Tzad. Hazara koydem will break this parsha in two parts. This is the warning before Nadav Avihu died in Perek Tes, even though this is Perek Tes Zayin. Okay, this happened in Perek Tes Zayin. There's a punishment. My Talmud, where do you see this? So it says like this. Perek Tes. Hashem actually appeared to Klal Yisrael, and he consumed the korbanos. But what does it say over here? In Perek Tes, this is Perek Tes. He already appeared. Perek Tes Zayin says, I will appear. Ki be'anan eira'eh. In the future, I will appear. So Perek Tes Zayin, okay, what's going on here? This happened, Perek Tes happened after Perek Tes Zayin. Okay, so that's why we could break it up like that and say that a little bit of Perek Tes Zayin happened before Perek Tes. V'adayin lo nira. So we have a problem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu warned Nadav Avihu, but he didn't tell him what the punishment is. It's not fair. You can't get a death penalty without telling someone you're going to get the death penalty. They thought it's going to be a little malchus, whatever, a little death. So what's pshat? Interesting. There's 10 reasons why Nadav and Avihu died. The Gemara picks one. Taisus brings a bunch. They said a halacha in front of their Rebbe. And the halacha is 100% right, the halacha. They were right. But don't talk like that in front of your Rebbe. It's not covered at Torah. My Dorish, what did they say? It says that the Bnei Aaron brought fire. We had this before. Fire, there's a heavenly fire, comes down. But Klal Yisrael, the Kohanim have a mitzvah to bring human fire in addition to the heavenly fire. And they said so in front of Moshe Rabbeinu. They didn't ask nicely. They said it. That's Misa. Taisus brings over here the bottom Taisvas. There's Kohanim. He says, they said, one of these two old people are going to die, Moshe and Aaron. And both of us are going to take over. So Reb Weinberg says, on this thing, says that there's another problem here. That a person should never say, oh, I'm going to wait until so-and-so is going to die, and then I'm going to, not because, why don't you do something today? If you're so chashuv, you're so great, get going. What are you waiting? What are you going to wait? No, but say shiurim, do something for Klal Yisrael. Don't say, oh, I'm going to wait until they die. And what, you're going to wait 30 years now until they die? You're capable. Take your kaiches and use them. Azay Zokter. Zokter Gemara. Yatza nu sugir, yeah? How 12 lines from the bottom, let's say. Yatzu bala derech nisasai. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yatzu bala derech nisasai. The Kohen Gadol, when he's done in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, what does he do? He doesn't turn around and go out. He walks backwards. The whole way backwards. We don't even know this idea of walking backwards. Omer Shmuel, Ben Achmeni, Omer Yonason, Omer Kra. So look at this. Givon had the bama. That's where they brought all the korbanos. Not Yerushalayim, Givon. But the lashon is interesting. Begivon Yerushalayim. It should have said Begivon li Yerushalayim. He went from Givon to Yerushalayim, or me Yerushalayim. He came. There's missing either a lamed or a mem. So what's the pshat? Because it's written interestingly, we learn a new halacha from it. What's the connection over here? There's a hekesh. Yerushalayim to Givon. Now what? Ma biyasim Yerushalayim legivon. Pon of klape bama kiderch biyasai afitziyasai. Megivon Yerushalayim pon of klape bama kiderch biyasai. So when you leave Givon, you should walk backwards. Now he's not going to walk backwards the entire way. He's going to walk a little bit to give kavod to Givon, to the bama. That's where the bama was. And when the kohanim are done with their avodah, they turn backwards, and that's what we do by the kaisel. A lot of people, at least you see them all. The women are very makar. They go all the way back to the car backwards. They're walking. Yeah. Ulevim b'duchanan. Levim on the Duchan, the Shira, Yisroel ben Mattisyahu, says Rashi, reminds us that Klal Yisrael, the Yisraelim had representatives every single day in the Beis Hamikdash because they had to be there. Yisrael has to be there when they do the Karban Tamid. Now, you can't bring all of Klal Yisrael, so you bring a group, Shalom Aleichem, a group of representatives, and so those representatives, when they leave, backwards. Yisroel ben Mattisyahu. They wouldn't just turn around and go. They walk backwards. A Talmud who says goodbye to his Rebbe, he's leaving his Rebbe. He shouldn't just turn around. Turn around. The Rebbe Lazar says the Gemara Rebbe Lazar could have a miftah minei Rebbe Yochanan when he would walk away from Rabbi Yochanan, have a boy Rabbi Yochanan Saguye. When Rabbi Yochanan wanted to leave, have a gachin kai Rabbi Lazar aduchtayad, have a mikasi Rabbi Yochanan. So he would bow and wait for his Rebbe to disappear from his eyesight. Because have a boy Rabbi Lazar Saguye, but when Rabbi Lazar wanted to leave, Rabbi Yochanan He would walk all the way backwards, away from his Rebbe, in Achna, in Kavod. I heard that's what they do in Ger. Yeah? All Hasidim. They go in frontwards and they come out backwards. Oh, in Chaim Berlin, 1,000%. Chaim Berlin, we had to wear our hat and jacket when we went to speak to Rashiva. Okay, Rava can have a miftah mineder of Yosef. Says the Gemara, amazing story. This is the same Rav Yosef. You remember that he was learning once Torah. Rav, he was learning Torah and his hands were under his feet and they were bleeding and didn't realize. He's big into bleeding. Said the Gemara, can have a miftah mineder of Yosef. Rav Yosef was his Rebbe. Rav Yosef was blind. Have a ozal achayre at the benakven kare until his feet would bang. Umetasen as kufasa. The Rav Yosef Dama. The askufa is the threshold, and he would bleed on the threshold. He would walk out backwards, and he'd bang his feet. Amru, Daf Yomi Beis, sponsored by their own corn bluth. Eli Nishmas, Uri Ben Mattisyahu, and for the success in Gashmius and especially ruchnius of his grandchildren. Amru Leila Rav Yosef, who was blind and couldn't see the story. Hachi Ovid Rava. Rava did this for you. An amazing amount of kavod to the point where he was injured. Amarlei Yerava the Tarum Reishach Akula Karcha. You should be the Rosh Hashiva on the entire city. Rabbi say, some people ask me, how you, a balabas, a real estate guy, how you zoicha to give a Daf Yomi shir? So I'll tell you the secret here. It's my Shaya. When I was younger, I walked out backwards from my father, and I banged my head in the door, and he said, you should be zoicha to say a Daf Yomi shir. What? You don't believe me? No excuses. No excuses. I mean, look, it's a tremendous thing. I don't know. You see, like by Kimches, again, going back to Kimches, they asked her, what were you zoicha? She was like, Chas v'shalom to say the lashon, meshugal l'davar echa, like she had her mitzvah, like Rava, he had his one thing. Oh, there's a shas coming in. We have shasim coming in. Shkoich ta Reb Avi Kamiansky donating. How many shasim are you donating? But the Mesifta, the most expensive one, you can't get 170 volumes. What? Yeah, it's right here. It just came in. We were Shmooze to be discussed. I mean, he donated this whole thing behind me, so now he has to fill it up. All right, Omer Rebbe Gizandri, Omer Rebbe Yeshua ben Levi, Hamispalel. Gary, get ready here for a second. Okay, no, it's good the way it is. Hamispalel tzarich she'afsiya sholish psios la'achorov va'achar kach yitin shalom. A person, when he davens Shmoneh Esrei, when he finishes Shmoneh Esrei, he takes 3 steps back and he says, Oisa Shalom. He says Shalom. So I just want to demonstrate real quickly because I notice every time I go to Shul, most people don't know how to do it. They pretend they know how to do it. Let's get this straight. Here we go. I would. Yeah, I'm over here. Okay, fine. This is very, very simple. These are your feet that are together. Which foot do you move first? Your left. How much? In Yisroel, they're very makbid. It's like 6 feet each one. They go, but you don't have to. The Mishmura says toes to ankles. This guy now, the right foot, does a double. He goes all the way toes to ankle, and then the left catches up. That's it. That's what the Mishmura says. Now, when you do it, you should be bowing. Now, it's very interesting that a guy in Koil came over to me, and he said, why is it that when you finish Shmoneh Esrei and you do Esrei Shalom, you jump, everybody jumps? I said, I don't. He says, yes, you do. So I went to the video camera and I watched myself. I don't. But I realized I don't do it well. In my head, I thought I'm bowing. And then I looked, I was like this. It has to be a bow. You're going away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're saying goodbye. The bow, and in a bow, you go to your right or to your left? Left. Very good. Nobody knows. So why don't we do it? I don't know. All right, so Shalom Bim Raimov. We ask the Shalom Aleinu, Val Kol Yisroel V'imru Amen, in a bow. Shkoyach. Really? No, don't think so. Ooh, Baruch Hashem. Look what I found, Rabbi Dambi. I found my real one. Okay, so let's see over here. Now, there's an interesting halacha we learned once. I'll just bring it up because it's interesting. If you're on a donkey, what do you do when you're diving Shemona Esrei? You make the donkey go back 3 steps. No kidding. So this morning, I looked it up and I saw in Gaiva Delio, a Shaila, what happens if you're in a car? Do you put in reverse 3 times or not? And then I saw unbelievable Shaila. And this happened to the Bala Mechaber Gaiva Delio. What if you're in a plane? Do you have to go backwards? And I'm telling you, Maisa Shahaya, when I flew a plane backwards. How? The plane is flying in an air pocket, right? So a Cessna could stall, let's just call it 43 knots if you're in the right configuration. But anyways, let's call it 50 miles an hour. It could stall. Stall means it just drops out of the sky, right? So up until 50, you could fly still. So if the wind, and that day it was 55 knots of wind, so what happens is you're flying forward, you're really flying backwards. You think you're flying. The plane is flying 50 miles an hour, but comparative to the ground, you are actually going backwards. You look down and it's very weird. The houses are just going this way. You're flying backwards, literally flying backwards. So I'm thinking if you're down Shemona Esrei in a plane, you got to do Shemona Esrei Shalom, you just put it in a 50, if you're in those kind of winds, you put it 50 and you go backwards 3 times. You got to go forward. And you go Esrei Shalom Raimov to the left. Okay, very good. Zog Jonathan Stefansky, who doesn't have his paper Let's in front of him today, because today he's not in Let's mode. Oh, he does. Come here. Jonathan, get over here right now. See, with that paper. Jonathan, you have to get over here. No, Jonathan, please. Please, no, cover this here. Yeah, I know, but the guys in you. Jonathan, get over here. Don't be an honor of you're a real Stefansky, you're true Stefansky. Get over here. The island doesn't believe me that you have your...
I want to be on the cover of YouTube.
Says Jonathan that he loves this part of the shir, the practical halachas. Right. How to do Yisroel Shalom in a plane. Gewaldig. Yeah. Wow. Okay. We hadn't had a laugh like that in days. Not a let's. Omar Alexandria, Omar Yisroel ben Levi, I'm responsible for Shepsias Shalom Shepsias Lachoyer, Vachkach Yitin Shalom. Omar Lei Rav Mordechai, Kivin Shepsias Shalom Shepsias Lachoyer. Listen to this. This is halacha that there is makbid on. Right, Jonathan? What do we do when we go backwards? A lot of people plop down on the chair. A lot of people go right back forwards. Hasam iboyele lemekam. You must stay where you are when you made your 3 steps. Stay there. How long? Lechatchili should stay there until Kedusha. When the Chazan starts it, then you go for 3 steps forward. Not until you start Shemona Esrei, but you must stay there for a while. Maybe one shita is Dalet Amos. As long as it takes you to do Dalet Amos, you have to stay there. Mashal Talmud Hanifta Mirabbai Im Chayzer La'alter. If you go back right away, Daima Lekelev. Unfortunately, I have the crazy. Where's Doron? Doron is here today? No. I have a shtickle dog. Not me, my kid. And I've zeiched to see this many times. It's very, very gross. A dog who vomits, you know what they do? They eat it up. Oh, is right. That's what it says here. Yaakov has the same dog as us. The mamish, very in the kitchen department, very, very shvach. And what's the point? You're leaving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says, okay, I'm backing up. Then you go right back. You're making a joke out of it. You're throwing up. You're throwing up for a purpose. So why are you eating it again? It doesn't make sense. You're supposed to go 3 steps back. And you say shalom. But if you don't do so, it's better that you didn't daven at all. First you go to the right, then to the left. Now we're going to explain in a second. Everybody in the shir knew that you do Ois Shalom to the left, not to the right. So why does the Gemara say right? Because it means to the right of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shenemar. How do you know right comes first? Mi minoi eish das lamai. With his right hand, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's right, he gave us the fiery Torah. So you see, everything should be with the right. V'oimer, and it says another pasuk, and anytime the Gemara says v'oimer, it's big trouble. Why do you need a second pasuk? One is enough. V'oimer yipo mitzitcha, on your side. What's your side? The one that's not the right, because it's going to say in a second the right. So the side means the left. So you're going to be zoicha that your enemy, they'll fall 1,000, elef, urevava miyinecha, but on your right, 10,000. So the right is 10 times more than the left. So that's the Gemara, my vaymer. Why do you need two psukim? Baruch gave with his right. Typically, when you extend something to someone, you're right, you do it with your right hand. So it's not a big kunz that he gave the Torah with your right, with his right. It's like 25 trips with those boxes. That's how many. It's 170 something svarim, the Mesifta. See him coming in and keep on. Rava chazila abaya. Rava saw abaya the yav shlom liyimina bereisha. Abaya learned it literally. You go to the right first. So he says, no. Yes, it says to the right, but not your right. You don't go ois shalom like this. You do ois shalom to your left. Which is the Yamin of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I forgot who it was. Somebody here wrote me an email and I read it, that Birkus Kehanim is also the same thing, right? Kohen goes to the left first, and Bay V'Shalom also, when you're facing, you go Bay V'Shalom, you say, what's the words over there? Bay Kala, to the left, to the right, because it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And here you see the halacha that Abaya and Rava, when they backed up the 3 steps, why are people so stingy with their bowing? They go, you know what I mean? Like, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It should be like a nice bow. So Shalom B'Roima of Avi, I want to see you today. So Shalom B'Roima, yes, Shalom Alein. I'm going to check the video cameras afterwards. So, the Kohen Gadol says a short tefillah after he leaves the Kodesh Kodashim. Rava Baravado, Veron Baravado, Tarvai Mishmeder Rav Amri. Ma Mitzali, what does he say? Rava Baravado, Verovan Baravado, 2 brothers. Tarvai Mishmeder Rav Amri. Maybe it says something else here. Yiratzim Ufanecha Hashem Elokeinu, Shtei Shana Zoi Gshuma Ushchuna. It should be rainy and hot. Shchuna, Mal Yusi, what should be hot is good. Elohim Im Shchuna Take Shuma. Which is fascinating, because you think that the Kohen Gadol, he has better things on his mind, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to say other stuff. Klal Yisrael should learn a lot of Torah and should do a lot of Gashmius Chasad. No, he's worried about the rain. Should have enough rain. Should have Gashmius. Eloema im shchuna deik shuma. Ravacha b'reder Rava Misayim b'mishmei the Rabbi Yehuda. They said something else. Lo yadi Ovid Shulton in Beis Yehuda, that the ruling shouldn't leave the family of Yehuda, the shepherd of Yehuda. V'loyu amcha Yisrael tzrichim lefarnes zemizeh. We shouldn't need one the other. We should have our own parnasa. V'letikanes lefanecha tfilas ovei drachim. Do not accept the tefillah of those on the way because they get stuck in the rain and it's very painful for them and they're going to daven. And believe it or not, when they daven, who do they daven? Hashem listens to the tefillah because they're bitzar. When somebody's bitzar, he screams out, Hashem, help me. It's cold. I'm freezing. I don't have a raincoat. I don't have an umbrella. Help me. And Hashem listens to that. So the Kohen Gadol wants to overcome that tefillah because it's a very powerful tefillah, but it's going to mess everybody up. All their fields are they're not going to have food. Says the Gemara story of Chanina ben Daisa, the famous Reb Chanina ben Daisa. There's so many stories in Shas about his nisim. A woman didn't have the kairos, talking about kairos. Her kairos, she couldn't build the ceiling, so the kairos went longer. They saved people from the well and everything. Chanina ben Daisa, he was walking on the way, Shada Mitra Alei, started raining. Omar, Rebbeinu Shalom, Kol Olam Kula Benachas, V'Chanina B'Tzar. What's going on here? Everybody is all calm. It's like, it reminds me of what he said. The whole world is supported from me, and I myself only need one kav of charuvim. So again, he's comparing himself to the world. Pasak Mitra. Rain stopped immediately. Asked the Marsha, how is it possible such a tzaddik Chaninim Dois didn't care about other people? So different tirutzim. Maybe he was asking Hashem for a raincoat. He didn't want the rain to stop. Because it's kind of meduik in the Gemara now. Everybody's bitzar that's not raining, and I'm all calm. Help them out. Asa Mitra. It started to rain again. Interesting. Look, the Kohen Gadol, his tefillah didn't work. He was davening that the people on the way, their tefillah shouldn't be listened to, and here HaKadosh Baruch Hu listened to Chanim ben Doisa, not to the Kohen Gadol in that year. Who's this Kohen Gadol? I was about to make fun of him until I realized that this Kohen Gadol, it says in Yerushalmi, was Shimon HaTzadik. He didn't listen to the Mishnah that says Sheherech b'tfilasai. He went, instead of doing the short tefillah when he comes out of Kodesh Kodashim, he did a long tefillah. And they started saying, we got to go in there, rescue time. They literally were going into Kodesh Kodashim. Shalom Aleichem is coming out. You don't know better? I was doing you a favor, I was doing for you. Don't do it again. Don't scare Yisroel. The official Mishnah, sponsored in honor of the MDY team. Mishnit al-Arain. Interesting lashon. The Arain was removed from the Kodesh HaKodashim for good. So we had yesterday that was Nignaz. Over here it says Nital. Nital is different, says the Gemara. It means that it was stolen. There was a stone. This stone right over here called Ushasiya Haisa Nikros, Evan Shasiya. Givayim in our Shalshet's Boys, 3 finger breaths. And that's where he put the Ketairis, that's where he did his thing. Remember, there was a guy standing on the 4th row outside of the Heichal, mixing the blood so it shouldn't congeal. He grabs it, gets the blood, that's the blood of the bull. He would stand in the place. If there was an R in there, it used to be an R in there, so he'd stand right there. And he would do the avoid of the blood. I want to show you, if I have it here. Yeah, here. Here's the original picture. But I was thinking, in the morning I was thinking about Mendy, because he's a chazan, and he says achas, and we all say achas, achas v'achas. What does achas v'achas mean? You said achas, why are you saying achas v'achas? And the answer is, so I just added this for a little bit of this. Maybe you'll visualize this. I want Mendy to think about me during Yom Kippur when he says achas. Achas is referring to this drop of blood right over here. But this drop of blood was done differently than the 7. This one was done weird with his hand facing this way, and he threw it like this. Then he flipped his hand over, and with his finger he went like this. So it's achas v'achas. In addition to this red guy, now he's starting the whole row of blues. Achas v'achas, achas v'shtayim. Yeah? Clear? You got this, Mendy? Put it in your head. Okay, good.
You just ruined this whole show.
I did on purpose. Huh? It's a pocket ones. Lamala means further away from him, and he does it in a nice row. Not the chas v'shalom, it hits the aron on top, and it keeps on going down. It's towards the aron, because he's standing between the 2 poles, and he sprays it towards the aron, if there's no aron in that direction, and it hits the floor. He's not going on the aron itself, but he's a matzliv, he's a sharpshooter on the ground. There were 2 of these, says the Gemara, the Mishnah, and his machlokes is 2 or 1. He had a little base, a stand, and he put the bowl of blood. When he's done, he put it nicely and stood there. Now he goes outside between the ulam and the mizbeach. So he leaves the heichal, and right there, when he leaves the heichal, that's where they had the goat. One goat is thrown off the cliff. One goat is shechted as a chatos. Shchatoi. He has to do all the avodas. Remember, shchatoi v'kibu b'mizrugis damai. We had a whole shaila then. Does another kohen step in and continue the shchita? Not. He's mikabel the dam. Nichnas l'makom shenichnas. V'amad b'makom she'amad. And so he goes right back into where everything takes place, where the tares took place, and where the blood of the bull took place, and he does the same exact thing again. And now he goes and he puts down the blood of the sa'ir on the second one. Here's the first one, here's the second one. He argues there weren't two stands, there was one stand. Now, according to Rabbi Yehuda, he keeps on, he does everything. He does all the hazars. But when he's done, he takes the blood of the bull and he puts down the blood of the sar. Now he leaves, he goes outside, and he's standing in front of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. He's no longer in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and he sprays, he does the same thing towards the blood, towards the paroiches, the curtain, outside. He didn't hit the paroiches, but it was opposite the paroiches. Now he takes the blood of the goat and he puts down the blood of the bull. And he does the same thing. So he does the blood inside, he does the blood outside, and now what does he do? Now it's interesting. Now he has a third thing that he has to do. He has to make a mixture of the bull blood and the goat blood together in one kli and do the hazah on the mizbeach haktoires, the smaller mizbeach. How does he get that blood? Says the Mishnah, and with this we finish. He takes the bull blood, pours it into the goat blood. Now he has an empty kli which used to have the bull blood. So he mixes it up, and then he takes the goat blood, which is mixed with the bull blood, pours it back into the bull blood kli. Now he has a really good mixture of blood, and now he's ready to do the other azais. Have a wonderful day. Whoa! Have a wonderful day. אחרי נקבל ישרואל, הנסו למצוא בשביל יום, דיבר ביום בבים ושמוק מנחם נסו מסו מנחם. Yeah, what? Hello. Did he have bells? Not it's a shayla. According to Rashi, there's no bells. There's no bells on Yom Kippur. He was wearing his white. He's wearing his white. Big Day Lovin. There's no bells. Big Day Lovin.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Right. Right.
But he doesn't talk about the difference between Yom Kippur and.
Maybe that's why I didn't find it anywhere. Maybe it's not true. It seemed like from Rashi it's only on Yom Kippur. What? Yeah. Where do we learn it? I forgot what that. Wow, that's a lot of svarim. Woo!
11 bucks.
Wow.
I think by at least by the cousin, he's supposed to stop by.
Take a bullshit.
Point that.
Why? Why is he different? Why is he different? Who said?
I've seen that. I don't look for it.
I don't remember such a thing.
Focus on their bonus straight.
But why is a chazan different?
No.
Why is the chazan different? Not you.